Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum and I'm here today at the James Julia Auction House in Maine, taking a look at some of the guns that they're going to be selling in their upcoming fall of 2017 firearms auction. And this one's just kind of strange enough looking that I figured, even though there isn't a whole lot of information on it, it's something that you might be interested in taking a look at. This is a British-made Pepperbox Revolver. 8-barreled, which is rather unusual for these. Typically they are 5 or 6-barreled. And then this has a couple other unusual features to it in that it's single action only and it is manually revolved. So the vast majority of Pepperbox revolvers were double action and automatically indexing. We'll take a closer look at this in a moment and I'll show you exactly what that means. But the Pepperbox it kind of had this short heyday of popularity. The percussion cap was really the ideal ignition mechanism for a gun like the Pepperbox. And the percussion cap, the dates of its invention kind of vary. Alexander Forsyth patented basically the chemical concept in something like 1807. The percussion cap itself wasn't introduced into the common trade until the mid-1820s. And from that time until the 1840s, when Sam Colt was able to introduce proper effective revolvers, the Pepperbox was really one of the best options out there for repeating firepower in a concealable handgun. And that's kind of not how this one's set up. This one's kind of huge. You're really not putting this in a pocket, and that was really the best use case scenario for a Pepperbox, was a concealed pocket style of pistol. So why don't we go ahead and take a closer look at this. Let me explain some of the history of the Pepperbox while we see this guy up close. In order to give you a proper size reference, I figure I'd compare this, our British 8-barreled Pepperbox, to a much more popular and common standard model of Pepperbox. This is an Allen Thurber. It is a 31 caliber 6-shot gun, and you'll notice it has a number of different features compared to this rather large British piece. For one thing, the nipples are actually concealed under this shield so that they don't catch on clothing. The percussion caps don't fall off. That prevents a bunch of problems. Obviously, on this guy, they are wide open. And then this is a double action system. So when you pull the trigger, it's going to lift the hammer and then drop it. And it's also going to automatically index the barrel cluster from one barrel to the next. So in order to fire all 6 shots, all you have to do is just pull the trigger 6 times in a row. And of course, it's a lot smaller. This is the sort of thing you could definitely and easily stuff in a pocket, and that's what a lot of people did with those. This one, not so much for the pockets, and this is single action only. We have this rather long and kind of spindly hammer there. It doesn't have a half-cock notch. This is the essence of simplicity in a Pepperbox firearm. When you pull the trigger, hammer drops and it fires. In order to index the system, what you have to do is cock the hammer and then pull this catch back, and then you can start to rotate, and when you get to the next barrel, the latch will snap into place. That locks the barrel in place. One of the benefits of the Pepperbox system, and one of the things that was able to keep these kind of somewhat competitive in the market even after the advent of proper revolvers, is that the indexing doesn't have to be all that precise. All you need is for this to be lined up closely enough that when the hammer falls, it will detonate the percussion cap. On a proper revolver, where you have one barrel and an indexing cylinder, you actually have to have the cylinder line up really pretty closely every time, because the projectile has to jump this gap from the cylinder to the barrel. And if it's not lined up well enough, you can have serious damage to the gun and the shooter if they're misaligned. With a Pepperbox, there is no real alignment issue as long as the hammer hits the percussion cap. Because there's no gap to be jumped, every barrel is its own independent and solid piece. One of the things they had to do on this was ensure that the percussion caps were all held at the same height, despite the barrels being at different distances from the center axis of the cluster. So they just did that by extending this. Basically, the percussion cap nipples are on extensions here, where they're not on these exterior barrels. I don't have any way to identify the manufacturer of this piece. It's only marked London and a 5-digit serial number, which maybe they made that many. That seems a little optimistic. I kind of suspect that they didn't start at 0 on that serial number range, but maybe. Same markings are repeated here on one of the barrels. Well, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. There is a plethora of different styles of pepperbox revolvers out there. Everything from 3-barrel up to at least 24-barrel. Different ignition mechanisms, different trigger mechanisms, different grip styles, all sorts of things are possible on pepperboxes. And so this is just another interesting and unique and different example of a pepperbox revolver. If it's something you'd be interested in adding to your own collection, take a look at the description text below. You'll find a link there to the James Julia catalog page on it. They don't have a whole lot of information either, but on that page you can take a look at their high-res pictures and what they do have. And if you're interested in it, you can place a bid or right there on the website. Thanks for watching.